We can now play NFL Blitz online-ish. Money saved is money wasted. And can Star Wars save? Arcade1up. I think I bit my tongue. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in the world of arcade, home arcade goodness. Episode 82, guys. Episode 82. It's pretty awesome. Getting really close to 100. I don't keep talking about it, but it's kind of a big deal. Every week I keep doing this. Is just sort of sinking in how long that is, how long you put up with me. It's kind of sad, really, isn't it? So, man, a lot of activity this week. I don't know about your house, but over here, we had people over. I had family over. The scenery kind of changed. I don't know if you noticed that, but the arcades were gone, moved out of the way off to the side because I had family staying everywhere. We had beds all over the house, but it was a great time. It's a great time to have family over and make the most of Thanksgiving week. I hope you also made the most of Thanksgiving week, at least for those of us living in the United States. Other people in other parts of the country, hope you made the most of your weekend, at least. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Kind of been a whirlwind, but as always, we have a couple things to get out of the way first. Number one is going to be the poll. Every week in the chat, look over in the top corner. You're going to see the poll. And it's a question this week that is going to really pertain to that last topic we're going to talk about tonight. But I want to get everybody's feedback in here. And it's kind of weird. I know, just bear with me. But the question is simply this: is there an upcoming product that can save Arcade1up's holiday season? You've got 4 different options here, and they're not so cut and dry. But the first one is, yes, Star Wars can save their Arcade1up's holiday season. That's the one we want. The second option is going to be Time Crisis. No, Time Crisis. That's what we need. If they come out with that, it's going to totally save their holiday season. Another option, option 3, is going to be, no, it doesn't need to be saved. Everything's fine. We're all good here. We're all fine. Fine. How are you? This would be the third option. And then number 4 is going to be, no, it can't be saved. All is lost. There's nothing left to live for. Well, that may be a stretch. But anyways, those are your 4 options. Let me know what you think about that. Make your voices heard. Vote in the poll. It really makes a big difference as far as, really just gauging where everybody's at, as far as, 1, is it all over? Or 2, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. And also, if there's something out there that's so good that you're anticipating so much, it could redeem Arcade1up from what I would think is, at the very least, a lackluster holiday season. So jump in there, and 49 votes. Jump in there. Let me know what you think about that. I'm curious to see where everybody falls. I think you're going to fall somewhere. One of those options is going to be for you for sure. What else we got going on? Well, we got something to drink. As always, bourbon is top of the list. Tonight, we're still on the Camelot Farms. Not going to finish out the bottle this week. I think next week we're going to crack open. Probably we may go back to Jefferson's. I don't know. There's a few more things out there I want to try, something a little bit different. But we're going to stick with Camelot Farms this week. I just didn't have time to go out and get another bottle. So much going on. Like I said, you tear down the house to have everybody come over. Then they leave, and you got to put it all back together. And then also, Christmas stuff has to go up, right? We are actually beyond Thanksgiving now. And one of the first things you do besides Black Friday shopping is you put up all your Christmas stuff. And I'm married, so the inside of my house is completely changed. I don't know where I am anymore. I get lost. I got to ask my son for directions to the next room because what has your mother done? There's stuff in here that I don't know. There's trees everywhere. We take everything outside. We bring it inside. It's kind of weird. Back to the bourbon. It's pretty good. No surprise here. Same bottle. It's good stuff. So, all that stuff out of the way. What are you drinking? Let me know in the chat what you're drinking tonight. Let me know in the comments section. If you're watching this on repeat, let me know. Once again, I'm seeing some suggestions out there. Let me know what I need to drink. What do I need to partake of? Especially rolling into December. Now all the holiday suggestions get to come in. All the weird stuff like bourbon eggnog. I don't know. I'll try it. Come on, it's the holiday season. I'll do it for you if it's something you got to see. What can I say? I'm a glutton for punishment. So we've got that out of the way. We've got the poll in the chat. Like I said, lots of stuff to get into. But before we can get into anything else, we got to say hi to the chat. Absolutely, just a ton of people stopping by and saying hi, and it's really awesome. But once again, everybody, I know your holiday week has been busy, and you probably just want to chill out. So it's awesome that you're going to come hang out with me and get into what we get into. Gotham City Arcade says, "Hey, Battle, happy Turkey Day to you and your family." Right back at you. Appreciate a question. Did you pick up any Black Friday cab/cabs? If so, what was the cab/cabs? And are you waiting for next year's fire sale? the fire sale. I will say this right off the bat. Nope. Didn't buy anything. Didn't buy anything because I'm one of those suckers that pays full price for everything because I'm trying to get it early. I'm trying to get a review out to you. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Arcade1up. So no, I really didn't have a need for anything. All the stuff that was on sale, I didn't really feel the need to pick up. Simpsons is something that I still, I don't know why. I think it's maybe the inclusion of the bowling game or the fact that the control panel is so weird. I just haven't felt the need to pick up Simpsons, even though it's been, I don't know, $99 in some of these Walmarts. Of course, I never get to see those deals. They're always, some other place. But I'm probably going to get it eventually, I think. But I'd probably like to make like a 2-player deck out of it. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll wait. Honestly, I'm kind of waiting for the next wave of 4-player cabinets. I'm kind of hoping they follow that, NFL Blitz model because that cabinet is incredibly comfortable. Absolutely love it. So anyway, thank you for the question. A Tran Fanatic, what's going on, buddy? Hey, Fox and all you cool people. Yes, all these people are cool. I certified that when they were walking in the door. Or they don't get in. They just don't get in. I pulled the trigger on Ridge Racer at Best Buy for $2.99. I am so stoked and can't wait to check it out when I pick it up December 4th. Oh, and by the way, job is going good. Outstanding, man. Good to know that the job's still going good. Listen, hold on to it at least till December, right? Got to make it through the holiday season, but I'm glad that's working out for you. Nothing quite as stressful as starting a new job. Definitely. Danny Davis says, that's kick-ass, A-Tran. I already had the Ridge Racer cab, so I went ahead and took advantage of the T2 cabinet, $2.99. I knew it was going to happen. Danny. Eventually, you would cave. It happens to the best of us. Nicole T says, I'm so tempted to try T2 for $2.99, but I'm still undecided. It might go lower. Maybe. I mean, listen, I honestly didn't think the T2 would go down to $2.99. But I thought maybe some kind of fire sale, maybe it happened really quick. We're going to get into more of the details of some of the sales we've seen and some of the pricing and sort of where we're at, and where we've been and where we are now, where we're going. But if you're waiting for a price drop, it might go maybe $199. Is that going to be an online price? I really don't know. This may be as low as you're going to see it online. You might see it lower in stores, but you got to kind of, at this point, it's kind of, you got to kind of just go with it. Or maybe you can pick it up locally secondhand. Biggie D Arcade, what's up, everybody? What is going on? Yes, absolutely. Hit the like button. It's the right thing to do. Multicade Matt says, I picked up the KI, T2, and Ridge Racer for $2.99. It's easier to discuss cabinets with the wife when they're more affordable. Exactly. It's definitely an easier pill to swallow versus what, $700? That's a tall order. When you can say, babe, it's just like half the price of a PS5. They're giving them away. That might be a stretch. JT Brunick says, what's up? Nothing much. Just kicking it here with some great people. King Sarkhan says, evening all. Evening to you. Evening to you indeed. Early stream. Yes, Pegsmith. It is. It's a half hour early because we're going to be going into, I'm trying to get it all together. Saturday was just too slammed. Justin and I could not get together to do our Andor live stream. We have to do that. That is the finality. Finality. Maybe. We'll see. Stick around for the show after this. But yeah, so at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be doing the live stream of the finale of Andor with Justin. We're going to be doing that at 10 o'clock. So that's why I want to start this just a little bit early. Mike Hawkert says, all hope is lost? Question mark. It's a valid point of view. Who am I to judge, Mike? Who am I to put people in a box? Come on, pick what you want. Some people may feel that way. It's all over. We're all going to die. The Real Zim says, what's up, gang? How the hell are you? Midlife Arcade. Hey-o. Here we go. Yes, we are in the middle of doing the going. That's right. Johnson, Nabin R25. Kind of want Blitz now that it's slowly getting fixed. We're going to talk about tonight. Absolutely. We're going to talk about Scott Lee. Yeah. 82. Who? I think you're probably referring to somebody else, maybe. Or maybe that's your favorite player of some random sports team. Not exactly sure. Cobra Kai says, yo. How you doing? Good to see you. Chris Langlows 93 says, always a good way to end the weekend. Here we go. What a privilege and an honor. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's a way. You know what also helps? Bourbon. Bourbon is definitely a good way decompress from what is hopefully a crazy weekend for everybody because of all the family and the Thanksgiving and the turkey and the whatnot. JR says, hello. How you doing? Good to see you. Nooner. Shello. Beach Native 78. How the hell are you? Hey, oh, Foxy. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I did. Quick question. How can I prevent my joysticks from unscrewing during gameplay? It's so annoying. Well, it's funny you say such a thing. Loctite. Loctite is the best way to go. Use the blue stuff. I know you're going to be tempted to use the red stuff, but you are going to be able to, you're going to have to take this apart eventually at some point, especially if you're talking about a stock Arcade1up stick. Go with the blue Loctite. It's not as aggressive as the red stuff. But if you've swapped them out and you've got like a nice Sanwa, something you think you're not going to have to change out for a long period of time, you can go with the red stuff and really lock it on. But blue Loctite, that's the way to go. Prince Vinny 007 says, I didn't know you had lots of family over. That's great. I thought you just lived alone. No, I have a family. I have a father and a mother. Was not created in a lab, or else, wow, that'd be tough to explain to my wife. Anyway, yes, and that is what the season's about. Absolutely. Family is exactly what it's all about. MG, my brother, how the hell are you? Good evening, Mr. Fox. Good evening to you. It's a great evening, especially when you have good friends that are making it just a little bit better. Like my brother here, Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger, $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. Always supporting the channel. Definitely helps out for sure. What up, my arcade brother? Star Wars can save all. It's just nothing they can fix everything. They're like super glue, especially Star Wars trilogy. Now, listen, don't you play with my emotions. If we were talking about that, it would be end of discussion. But I'm talking about the re-release. Cheers, Fox. Cheers, Ezekiel. Thank you so much again, always. Coming in clutch. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. And I got to say that, unfortunately, because it's the first one, you know what? No, you're not going. You're not going. Yeah, I'm going to give you, where is he at? Where is he at? Here you go.
Can't you do any better?
Thanks again for the super chat, buddy. AWOL 101 says, what's up, Sarge? Not too much. Glass Baby says, Burger Time $1.99. What? if that was, yes, that would fix a lot of things, wouldn't it? Absolutely. Burger Time makes an appearance tonight, believe it or not. JJ says, hey, Fox, Blitz for $2.99. We'll save them. Yeah, that would be a great thing. Probably not this holiday season, but yes, that would go a long way, wouldn't it? We'll talk about that in a second. The bad guy, Mike Worley. The bad, come on. Bad, that's subjective, right? Sup, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you. Gamer Price 40 says, what can save Arcade1up is doing what's right for the consumer and upgrading their quality on their products and being more vocal about it. There you go. Not a bad way to start to kick it off. Absolutely. Getting us in the right frame of mind for what we're going to talk about tonight. JT Brunnick says, my glass is some wicked pickle whiskey and Jimmy Love's Bloody Mary mix. Excellent combo if you've never had either. I will definitely check it out. Wicked, right? It's just not spelled. I guess it's pronounced the same, but it's not spelled the same. Nooner, what is going on? Try some Woodinville whiskey if you haven't yet. I have not. Ricardo says, hey, everyone, how you doing? Scroll down. Papa Braz Gaming is here in the house. Hello, gamers. Show me boo. Turkey. Well played. I'm assuming that's a bowling reference. Huh? Congo Jangles. Koga? I'm adding an N. I don't think there's the Kaga. Like Koga. That's like yoga. There you go. See, reading is not my first language. I don't have an attachment to Simpsons like that. I do for X-Men, though. If it wasn't for my 6-player X-Men, I would probably already have that cabinet, too. So many people stopping by. Andre, I apologize. Better deals in Canada would be nice. You know what? My Canadian brothers and sisters deserve better. You're so close, yet so far away. It is, unfortunately, your communist government that doesn't allow you to partake of the great prices. You need to, do you have elections or is it just a gun to your head? I don't know. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, absolutely. Because geographically you're so close, it is a damn shame that Canadians can't get better pricing and better availability. It's weird how you don't get some things. I don't understand that. I really don't get that. It is a damn shame. Surely the good people at customs, guys on the border, they can work something out, right? Talk to them, slip them a 5 or 10 or maybe some bourbon is what they need. Bourbon that makes everything better, right? That greases the wheels of commerce. In danger, dog. Once again, why is this dog in danger, remaining in danger? I mean, it's a holiday season. Come on. Sup? How you doing? Good to see you. DW says, had T2 and Ridge Racer already. After a coupon code, I grabbed the Killer Instinct for $255. Excellent buy. Excellent buy indeed. Well, I know I'm probably not getting to everybody, but 16 minutes in, we got to get started talking about stuff. And let's go ahead and get into the first topic. Blitz Online-ish. It's kind of a big story. It's kind of a big deal. Why is it such a big deal? Because they said it was going to have online from the get-go. That was the big problem. That was the big crux of the situation. Let me just take this comment off real quick. Sorry. You got to go because they got to see the graphics and things that I built. The only reason you got to go. That's really it. They told us it was going to have online play, and we finally got it, but it wasn't for the entire cap. So this week, it was announced. Other YouTubers are like, hey, listen, I've been beta testing. You got to just hold on. You got to check this out. Sure enough, it came to fruition day before Thanksgiving, right? And okay, we got online play, but it was not all that it was cracked out to be, not all that maybe we expected. So let's get into what was the release, right? So here it is. The way it stands right now, this is just right now, things can change. But as of right now, as of the release, you're getting online play with Blitz only. There is, as of now, and I'm pretty sure this is the way it's going to be because it looks like the way it's structured is very similar to MK30th. There are no lobby system, no lobbies, similar to Mortal Kombat 30th. So you're going to be playing a game and somebody can jump in. If you allow yourself to be viewable to others, right? You can select from a few people that are on a list over here on the side. You know, you can jump in and play a game with them. But unfortunately, if you're going to want to kind of get hooked up or connected with somebody, you're going to have to either call them on the phone or message them on Facebook or something and be like, hey, listen, you want to play? Okay, sounds good. Let me know when you're there. You know, it's not quite as easy to set up. Also, there's no spectating, which I got to say, it's really fun in the arcade fighting community. I really get that. But I think it would also be really fun for Blitz to have some, you know, to be able to spectate and watch. So kind of a damn shame that we don't have that. Now, what else is going on with this update? Now, so it is actually rumored to be coming to 99 and 2000 gold. So as of right now, it's not on those two games. Why? Not sure. I'm not sure. Now, technically, and I did get this, if you updated your cab, you probably got the same thing I got. And it was a little, just a little, you know, notice that popped up on the screen pretty quickly, actually. Mine went away and then it just said, hey, do you want to update? But it was a little bit of a notice letting us know that this was in beta. This was beta testing. Now, we had also talked about messages. We want to know why, what is this update going to do? Is this a way of them addressing that issue? Making us aware, hey, this is what this is. I don't know. I think this is a different situation. You know, this is a beta testing of online play. This isn't an update and then a description of the update. So it was a little bit different. So I don't think you can necessarily read it in that way. Sort of is what it is, right? Okay, so let's go back to this. So it's going to be rumored. It is rumored to come to 99 and 2000. I can't imagine it wouldn't be. The games are fairly similar. So I can imagine once they get it locked down on Blitz, we'll see it for 99 and 2000. And then also they added what I consider to be correct functionality of the live button. So the live button functions as it should, or at least the way that I think it should. It shouldn't just be a button you push when you're out of the game to open up your live options. That's kind of weird to have a dedicated button like that. So the way that it operates now is if you're playing a game, hit the live button and it will ask you, hey, do you want to hide this menu that just popped up in front of you? Do you want to change your visibility? So maybe you don't want people to see that you're playing. You can do that, you know, during the game, or you can leave the game. That's the way I prefer. That's the way I like it. There was a little bit of confusion on my part as far as which start button you had to hold down to exit the game. First player used to, before the update, hold down that first player start button and you exit out into the main menu. If you hold down the second player, it just kicks you it restarts the game that you're in, right? You don't go back to the main menu or the game select screen. So the live button functions like it should. And I think that that's awesome. That's great. That's the way that it should be. So let's get to some other stuff. How does it play? So we have online play. It should be perfect, right? Well, it would be nice if it was perfect. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be great if everything was perfect? But unfortunately, I'm here to say it's not. Now, if you've been following the channel, if you're a subscriber to the channel, and you should definitely, if you're watching this, hit that subscribe button. It's the right thing to do. It'll also allow you to comment over here in the chat I do that for security reasons, because the crazies. There's always somebody trying to get me to go to another website, or somebody in the chat saying, hey, live girls. We don't need that right now. We're not talking about that. We're talking about arcades. I have a video out where I talked about just the initial update. Here it is. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And then I also did a video of actual gameplay, straight gameplay. I didn't want to edit that at all, cut it up in any way so you could see what I was seeing live, all the pains, the way it actually functions. And for the most part, I think it played pretty good. But I'm all about facts here, and we're going to get into the facts. So the fact of the matter is, from what I've seen, from my experience, there is stuttering. There is stuttering during some of the game animations. So when you get the kickoff and the camera spins around, I saw some stuttering there. Sometimes when you go to the play select screen, there's a bit of a stutter, and there's a delay from your input. So eventually it never really caused me to select the wrong play. Let's say the game didn't crash, but there was some stuttering there. It wasn't as smooth as it should. There is also lag during some gameplay. It's what I've seen, right? And I've always had a really good connection. I've got a good, strong Wi-Fi connection at home. Unfortunately, there's no Ethernet port on the back of this PCB. So Wi-Fi is what you got, but I got a strong Wi-Fi connection, and I did notice some lag. There's a little bit of lag there. Did I see? Let me look at this. Did I see UAG's Blitz? Or his live stream? No, I did not see it. I heard that there was some lag, and listen, that's to be expected, because I think that the sum that I'm talking about now, I'm talking about it stutters during some game animations. There's lag during some gameplay, and I think to define some, that's going to be influenced strongly by your Wi-Fi signal and the strength of your ISP, your internet service provider. So if you've got 1 gigabyte internet, okay, you got high speed stuff, you have Fi optics, you're probably going to have a better chance of having some smooth animation. But let's say you don't quite have that. Maybe you've got a weak Wi-Fi signal. Maybe there's a bunch of other people gaming. Maybe you got some kids. Maybe or maybe even a wife. Somebody else is taking up some of that bandwidth in your house. You're going to see some of that stutter. Now, a lot of that is just, hey, that's just online gaming in general, right? How much does that pertain to the build? How much does this actually, what can you really point to the game and say, okay, it's all the game's fault? I don't know. I can't tell you. I really can't tell you. I don't have any scientific data to back up what I'm saying. Everything I'm talking about is anecdotal. This is my experience, right? Excuse me. So how much of it is the game? I don't really know, but I had pretty ideal conditions. I think I've played against P-Dubs way out. I'm in the Cincinnati area. He's out in California, not California, but Arizona. And we both had pretty strong internet. And for the most part, we had a pretty strong experience. I didn't really notice any lag, any delays whatsoever. Now, if you saw my live stream or my video, that was just me picking somebody at random and then playing a game. I have no idea what their signal strength is, but it was probably pretty good. So, the sum is going to be strongly dependent on that. Now, you're going to see other videos on YouTube and other people out there talking about this. Your mileage may vary. I think it's going to be based on a lot of things. But how much of that is the actual build? How much of that is the cabinet itself? I don't know that it's going to be that much, because as you've seen on my channel, from what I've seen, my experience is not total, right? But my limited experience has been pretty good overall. A little bit buggy, a little bit quirky, but, let's be fair. This is beta. This is a beta test. Now, beta doesn't excuse everything. If the game was incredibly broken and it was beta, that wouldn't give me a lot of hope. I'd be like, wow, this game has a long way to go. But if we're just in beta and, the game is slower, but it's got some stuttering, a little bit of lag here and there. It's sporadic. It's not the end of the world for me. So that's just my experience. Like I said, your mileage will vary. Absolutely. So that's where we're at. That is just what I've observed. This is online play as far as Blitz is concerned. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is the bigger problem, I think. This is something we were promised to have when we bought the cab. It was a surprise when me and the other guys opened up the cabinet in Chicago and fired it up, and we were like, wow, this is kind of weird. They don't really have online play yet. Well, maybe it's just super early, and that's what we really thought. They haven't even shipped from Arcade1up's website yet or their warehouses yet. So we thought maybe, just maybe, we would just jump in the gun, right? And that was the big issue. Well, a long time has gone by, and now we finally have it. So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question bigger so you can see it. Does this work for you? This whole process, this method, this promise and then deliver. Because it doesn't work for me, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not saying that the cabinet's wrecked. I'm not saying it's just destroyed and it's a horrible experience and it's a waste and you can throw it away. But I don't like, if we back it all up, the idea of promise and deliver. Oh yeah, you're going to have it, and then they ship it and it doesn't have it. Well, no, but we're going to get it. We promise. That doesn't really work for me. I think if you really sit back and look at it, it's not the way to go about it, in my personal opinion. I would rather you do something else. But here's another problem you're going to have, and this is like my second bullet point here, is that you're never going to get a complete review. If they send something out, and you've seen this before, if you've watched stuff on YouTube, if you watch reviews about something and they say this is an early build, this is a prototype, this is beta, that's one thing. And if I got one of those cabinets direct and it was some kind of prototype, I would let you know, hey, just so you're aware, this is a prototype, it's not ready. But we didn't buy this. Well, I mean, we didn't get this sent to us. I didn't get it sent to me under the dead of night, like dropped from a stealth bomber. We went to Walmart and bought the thing. We went to Walmart and bought it, a Walmart in Indiana, and bought it and opened it up and played it. Like many of you, we just went to the store and bought it. So it's not some super secret high-tech early build. This was retail. And, it didn't have online out of the gate. And so how can I possibly review something that's not complete? And listen, we gave them the benefit of the doubt. I didn't get some early review. I went to the store, bought the cabinet, and said, here's what they're giving us. Here's it. So if you promise, so I can't make a review based on a promise. I mean, nobody can. The same thing still, and the argument still exists with Marvel versus Capcom 2. There's no Wi-Fi for that game on that cabinet, or online play for that game on that cabinet just quite yet. So nobody can give you an honest review. So we really have an incomplete product. And my suggestion, I know you've probably heard me say this before, is that my suggestion is this: if it's not ready, then you underpromise and you overdeliver. So you say it's a Wi-Fi enabled cabinet. It's Wi-Fi enabled. That's what it is. And if online play comes, great. But that's not the way they did it. And I think that now everything they do with this cabinet is just being scrutinized. They are under a microscope for good reason. I mean, it's absolutely for good reason. I've even seen some posts on Facebook of people taking back their cabinet because it's just, they're tired of waiting for online play. They're upset because they paid $600 for something that wasn't complete. What is up, my brother Pete Ups? How the hell are you, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by this little channel. So I think that's really it. That's the state of play as far as the Blitz cabinet is concerned. It's the online experience. It is what it is. You've seen, I've submitted the evidence and I've given you my opinion, my unbiased opinion, no matter what others may say. It's just the way I feel. Bought the cabinet, paid full price for it. That's the experience that I've had. I've shown you the video. You need to be just aware as much as possible before you even think about buying this cabinet, which is now, funny enough, on sale for $4.99 at Best Buy. Kind of weird, right? Kind of odd. Are they trying to make up for the fact that it's not there, that the online experience isn't quite there? Maybe. Is it a little too late? Is it too little? Too late? Only you can make that determination. Money saved is money wasted. Well, it depends on how you look at it, right? So we talked about Blitz. We also been talking a lot about this week. Myself and other people have been talking about the savings, the deals that are out there. It's Black Friday. It's that wonderful, glorious time of year when we can expect to pay a little bit less for the stuff we really want. And especially for those of you who have been waiting patiently, hoping that your favorite thing, in our case, Arcade1up cabinets, are finally on sale, finally going to be marked down to some kind of decent, reasonable price. Things are changing. things are absolutely changing. So if you've been on this earth for any period of time, if you're in your 30s, if you're in your 40s, you remember the old days, the olden times. I speak of a time a millennia ago, the 90s, early 2000s even, when Black Friday was insane. Black Friday was also on Friday, like the Friday after Thanksgiving, and it was a day, and it was mass hysteria. But it was a day for extreme deals that were hard to find. You had to go to a place, Walmart, and have to actually be there to partake of the goods. But things are definitely changing. So right now, the way things sit, Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which is, these are just terms at this point. These sales start way earlier and they last a lot longer. Depending on where you're at, what region you're at. But I'm just talking about online stuff. And if you talk about these online sales and the online experience and the shopping and the Black Friday experience, which is not even a day anymore, Best Buy, for example, and I use them because they're probably the biggest online retailer that are the most consistent. I mean, Walmart is definitely huge. Obviously, Amazon is gigantic, but they have different sellers, so it's difficult to really sort of pinpoint exactly who's selling what and the prices and the product you're really going to get. So I use Best Buy as sort of a middle of the road. That's kind of my metric. That's my that's my pH balance point. Best Buy started for the general public on November 18th, 2022. Now they actually started earlier for the Black Friday pricing on Arcade1up cabinets specifically. That whole thing started way earlier for those of you that were spending $200 a year for that Total Tech membership. I don't have that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pay that. If you do, that's great. Maybe you buy enough stuff from Best Buy that makes sense to you. But I don't do that. But there was even earlier access to this pricing before then. And then on November 18th, November 18th, if you just have a membership, which is free, I'm a member so that I can buy stuff from Best Buy and maybe get some points and maybe get $5 off something, after I spend $800,000 or something. It's not as rewarding as you think. You had access to those deals too. And then just a short time later, a few days later, everybody had access to these deals. And by the way, it wasn't even Friday yet. It's a little bit nuts. You're talking about days, a week before Thanksgiving even happens. So it's a little bit crazy. So these deals are definitely happening earlier. They're lasting longer. And that definitely is going to affect, or it should affect, our buying habits. Listen, things are different now. And the pandemic has definitely affected some of this stuff. Supply chains and all that is definitely affecting things. Try to buy a PS5 lately. It's damn near impossible, right? Even at this point. It's a little bit crazy. So FOMO, and let's talk about FOMO, fear of missing out. That's in the very beginning, FOMO was like a legit thing. There were extremely limited runs of some of these cabinets, especially when they deviated from the standard operating procedure. Like you had your Gen 1 stuff, Gen 2, and it was just what you got, right? No lit marquees and just no risers and just super basic. But then we started seeing things like risers and then eventually lit marquees, and then oh wow, they put Sanwa controls in a Marvel Superheroes cabinet. That's crazy. Some of that stuff, and so the FOMO was definitely a factor. And I think some of that was legitimate because they were kind of limited. They weren't just everywhere. You couldn't just buy them everywhere. So I think it, for the most part, it made some sense. It wasn't just insane in irrationality. It made some sense for the limited runs, the limited editions of the stuff that they came out with. But now, I don't think that's applicable. I really don't think that really worked. You can't really apply that for 90% of what Arcade1up's coming out with. So a year ago, we were talking about CES. We were talking about those brand new legacy cabinets. And then, of course, KI Pro, which just now was available exclusive on the website, and there was only 500 available. So, okay, FOMO is a factor, but it's contained, it's defined, it's blocked out, right? Hey, here it is, only one place to buy it. There's only 500 left. Here's the price. There you go. So FOMO was probably a big part of that. But generally speaking, now, where we are now, where Arcade1up is now, it really doesn't apply for about 90%. So let's talk about some of these cabinets that we were just losing our minds for, right? I mean, 6, 7, 8 months ago is when I made the purchase of some of these big cabinets and I spent $700 on these things. That's not the case anymore. And FOMO really doesn't become a factor when you realize, guess what, guys? These cabinets are still here. These are prices I pulled off the old intranets today. So starting low, these are some famous prices by this point. You're talking about $300 for T2 and Ridge Racer. And, you know, I mean, it's funny how $299 is kind of the high end for Simpsons when you can find this thing sometimes for $99 at a Walmart. Now, bear in mind, this is about 8 months after these cabinets came out, even more for Simpsons. And you're looking at a $400 savings. And it's not like, listen, they came out and they were $700. They're still around 7, 8 months later. And they've been on sale for quite some time. So FOMO really needs to be out of the equation for some of these cabinets, right? So if you're looking for something, you're in the market for $300, you know, we got some offerings here. Look at that original sticker price, $700. It's insane. It would be understandable if they were gone, but they're not gone. They're still here. But, you know, maybe that doesn't exactly scratch your itch. Maybe you're, you know, I can spend a little bit more. I don't really like these, or maybe I already got these, or maybe you're like me and you already paid full price for them. There's other things out there. These things have been kicking around forever. $300 off. I've seen them lower than this, but today, right now, you can get these, you know, sit down cabinets, these cocktail cabinets. If this is what you're into, there you go. And by showing this, I'm really not showing you something that's probably super sought after, but they're still here, guys. They didn't go anywhere. You would think that maybe this would be a limited run item, and they're going to be here and gone. And maybe you even compelled to pick up that Marvel versus Capcom 1 cocktail cabinet. But look, it's still here. This is online pricing. Anybody can get this and get free shipping. This is not some super exclusive thing. So once again, FOMO should start taking a smaller percent. It should be a less of a factor when you're talking about going out and buying something. $300 off. Paying retail it's starting to make less and less sense. And I think if you go back and you look at every single one of my cabinet reviews, and I haven't reviewed Marvel vs. Capcom 2 yet, for reasons that I'll get into some other time. That's another show altogether. But look, the deals are out there, but I don't think that they're necessarily deals anymore. I think this is where it's settling into its actual value. What are people willing to pay for this stuff? So jumping out and getting something right off the bat, you know, doesn't make a lot of sense. FOMO should be dissipating. You should feel it. This is a cleansing. The FOMO should be leaving your body right now. It's gone, or it's on its way out. But let's say you don't really care about cocktail cabinets, which I agree 100%. They're not all that great. If $500 is your sweet spot, look at what you can get right now, today. Not some crazy sale, not some, and listen, RC Willie, all these other, you know, if you've got these other local regional places, you can pick these things up for much cheaper. I know Costco, I know Sam's Club is going to have these things cheaper. I'm not talking about those where you have to have a membership. This is just general pricing for anybody that can go on a website today and get this stuff. We know we've seen KI 3/4 for much cheaper than 500, but it's there now, $200 off. I mean, that's just what it's going to settle at, guys. We're not going to see that. It might be advertised for 700, but it's not going to stay there. Also, look over here, $250 off for pinball. Remember when pinball, and we're talking about FOMO, and it was legit. Listen, some of these things did go away for a while. Pinball is one of them. You know, they started off at a reasonable price. They jacked the price way up. Then you couldn't find them. Now they're back down to, you know, where they should have been, where they were from the very beginning. We've kind of hit our crest and we've come back down. So if you see something go, it's okay. I think it's going to come back. And we have a lot of examples of this right here. So back at $500, which is about where these things should be, $250 off. We have pinball back again. Actually, and what's funny, and this is really weird. Remember when Attack from Mars was like the table? Everybody wanted that one, and you could never find it. It's actually $50 cheaper than Star Wars and Marvel. Kind of crazy, right? X-Men. X-Men is $500, but remember, this is the one that was $50 more for some reason, which is really weird. This is also the one with the stool. So for $500, you're saving $250. You're getting the stool with this one also. Also, the other slide, we were talking about Simpsons. That $299 price is also going to include a stool. So there's no reason to freak out and lose your mind and jump in there, right? Just doesn't make a lot of sense. So there's that, you know. big pricing that maybe some of us jumped on because we felt like we had to have it first. But here we are, like I said, almost at the end of the year, and this stuff is still here. And not only is it still here, but it's available at super cheap, or not super cheap, but it's cheaper pricing, way off that high sticker price. So there's no reason to go for that. Also, something else is 500 Yoga Flame. I've seen it less. I think I actually talked about it was on Arcade1up's website for $50 off. Listen, all those are still here. All those other legacy cabinets that we saw at the beginning, we talked about these CES 2022. Those are still around. They have not left. They're not gone. And because of that TN monitor, they've seen some discounts. MK30th, for some reason, is still up there. It's still at $499. I really haven't seen that drop much at all, which is weird when you consider that monitor, but that kind of shows you the power of Mortal Kombat. But Pac-Mania right now, a cab that I actually had, did a monitor swap on and sold because it just didn't fix the issue, and I just couldn't take it. That thing is like $399 right now, so it's even cheaper than these. So do you feel the FOMO leaving you? Have you exercised that demon just quite yet? So when we talk about FOMO, we're talking about the fear of missing out. What are you missing out on? What are you really missing out on? Listen, let's drill this down. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Where are we at? What are we missing? What are you missing? What cabinets are out there that came out at a high price point and you bought it? I bought it because I had to have it because I didn't know if it was going to be around, and who knows, and maybe it goes on sale, but I want to be the first one to get it. And maybe you don't have a YouTube channel and you don't want to do a review, but you feel like, man, I better get this, or who knows how long it's going to, they just do a limited run, right? Or they do a single run of these cabinets and that's it. That's what we've heard. That's what we've been told, is that, sorry about that, the coaster sticks to the glass sometimes. Just something, I got to put some salt down. We've been told that. We've been told that we make a run and that's just it. And hey, it is what it is after that, right? Maybe that's the case. And if that is the case, that just means that these things don't sell quite as well as maybe we've been led to believe, or maybe they don't sell quite as well as they did when they were $299. They sold a lot faster. And it depends on some of the licenses. It depends on some of these games too. So I go back to my original question, or well, not my original question, the question I just asked earlier. What game's out there that you didn't buy when it first came out that is now gone? You didn't jump on it in the beginning and now it's gone and you can't get it. There are a few examples. I want to be completely fair, right? There are a couple examples. So right now, if you're looking for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it's sold out at most places. It's still available in a few places, but generally speaking, for the most part, overall, it's sold out. So you could definitely put that in the column, right? Well, that was some FOMO. I didn't jump on it. It was $600. I didn't get it. And, now it's gone. Now I can't find it. You could kind of say the same thing about Outrun, but Outrun was out there for a while. Excuse the pun, out there for a while. Outrun was definitely in the marketplace. Stand-up version is probably the one I'm really referring to. The sit-down version was much more plentiful. I don't think it was nearly as sought after as the stand-up version because it's not comfortable, that sit-down position for an adult, and you look kind of goofy. So the stand-up version was kind of hard to find, but it was out for a while, but the price came down, but now it's gone. It's actually gone now. You can't find it. It's tough to find. Let's talk about Burger Time. Burger Time is another one of those things. Now that's, to be honest, this is you can lump this in with that Marvel Superheroes limited edition because this was a limited run by definition. You got the little certificate. There's only so many made. And, I say, thank you, Hobby Hands. Every once in a while, I will get it right. I'm sure next week I'll get it wrong, but for now we have a small victory. But Burger Time is something you can't find, and Marvel Superheroes is gone. But two of the three games, they can be found on multiple cabinets now. So I'm not too concerned about that. Punisher being the thing that's I really wish they could have brought Punisher over to the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cab. That would have been excellent. That would have been killer. Who knows? Maybe they'll allow us to download that on this cabinet. That would be absolutely sick. But if you're trying to defend FOMO in some reason, some way, yeah, sure, Burger Time could probably fall into that category as well. But I think one of the biggest offenders, I mean, listen, I don't know we don't know, you don't know, I don't know what happened. What's going to sell more than Star Wars? Even now with the confusion and with the brand and with Disney and all that, Original Star Wars stuff sells like hotcakes. They're still selling their pinball machines. Now, maybe that's an argument cutting against what I'm trying to say now. But anyway, we'll talk about this. Maybe I just diffused my own atom bomb of an argument. But I think that Star Wars, for the most part, sells like crazy. So why, oh, why did they make such a limited run of that Star Wars cabinet? It's so damn sad to see that. It's weird. But so if you're trying to defend FOMO in some way, if you're trying to come up with reasons why you paid full price for stuff, there's 4 examples right there. Maybe Marvel versus the Marvel superheroes with the Sanwa. Maybe that'll be another one. But for the most part, we've got a few examples, just a few examples of cabinets that if you resisted FOMO, if you didn't jump on them right away, you didn't get them. Okay, so there's 4 examples, right? Out of all the cabinets out there. So I think for the most part, FOMO should be gone, right? Jumping on these things and paying full price for them doesn't make a ton of sense now because we're 8 months, 9 months, a year later on some of these cabinets and they're still around. And listen, we've got resurgence. We have cabinets coming back. We have Big Buck Hunter. That's still a full price, but it's back, or a little bit more expensive, I think, but it's back, right? If you're talking about the Sega 4-player cabinet, the Revenge of Death Adder, okay, that's back. Full price, $549, but it's back. It's back. It's back at Best Buy, actually, so you can get those. So it's tough to find an example of a cabinet that, if you didn't jump on right away, you missed out on. KI Pro is something I didn't put in there, but that was really just, it was obvious, right? You only had a chance because there was only 500. That's really it. That was super limited for, I think, a reason. I think everybody knew that. So that was almost self-explanatory. But I guess you could add KI Pro to that, to that FOMO discussion. We talked about that a little bit before I got started, but, I'll give you that one too. So we have 5 examples, you want to throw Frogger in there? Sure. I don't think it was really a big desirable cabinet. Sorry, Michael B. Sorry, buddy. I hate to break it to you, but yeah, I think you have 4, maybe 5 examples that are legit, right? Legit examples. But for the most part, when you're talking about these cabinets, especially in the current generation we're at now, there's no reason to jump on these cabinets. So if you look at what you spent and what I spent, what some of us have spent, especially when you're talking about Ridge Racer and T2, buying those at full price, I lost $800. I lost $800. I spent $800 more than I should have to get these cabinets first. And then you got to ask yourself the question, what is time worth? Because FOMO really is just time, getting it first, having it longer than other people have it. Is it really worth that much? Is it really worth spending $400 more? Listen, these cabinets are here. They're plentiful. They've been sitting at $300 for weeks now. For weeks, these 2 cabinets. 2 cabinets that are unique, 2 cabinets that I thought would sell pretty well. T2 maybe I was on the bubble about that one because it was just a single game, but still very popular, huge IPs. Driving games usually I thought would sell really well, especially with the rumble steering, but it is what it is. They're sitting there and they've been there. So I spent, think about it. Talk about a punch to the gut. I spent $800 more than I should have. Is it worth it for me? Is the time worth it? Really? 200, 300? Is it worth $200 or $300 per cabinet to get it before someone else? You got to ask yourself that, really. And by the time you get ready to sell it, all the sale prices have kicked in, so you're not going to recoup those funds. You're going to have to sell it at the retail pricing or cheaper. I mean, honestly, especially if they drop as low as they have. So how much is it worth to you? Time. How much is time worth? Only you can answer that question. But I think that FOMO, moving forward, rolling into 2023 with a different perspective, different set of eyes, FOMO needs to play a smaller needs to be a much smaller factor in your cab buying decisions, your probably buying decisions, period. But especially in this hobby, I think it's important to moderate. And especially when we see so many cabs that are just being sort of regurgitated and reissued. And I'll bring up this last point. Consider this. By the time Blitz is complete, but by the time Blitz is fully what we were promised, all the games have online play, whatever that experience is. By the time that all the games are available with online play, that cabinet could be $200 cheaper. You can already save $100 right now. So, I mean, So you overpaid. I overpaid for a cabinet that was actually less than promised. And that'll stick in your saddle. Can Star Wars redeem Arcade1up's rough holiday season? Rough is being kind. I think rough is probably a nice way to say it. It's a mixed bag. They announced cabinets that I think a lot of people wanted. I mean, to be fair, 2 cabinets I'm currently having some fun with, but they're definitely flawed with many things. Probably the most erratic rollout ever. I mean, I thought Simpsons took the cake with it is a cab, it's not a cab, it's announced, it's not announced, it's going to have bowling, it's not going to have bowling, who knows? The fact that Blitz just rolled out, I mean, they had the big launch party. I signed up, I wanted to get the hat, I pre-ordered from them, yay, and then boom, it just starts showing up a month before, sometimes more, in your local Walmart. And you're like, wait a minute, I did the thing. I did the official thing. I watched the stream. I watched the Arcade1up stream. I bought the thing from their website. I did all the things I was supposed to do. Why does this guy who doesn't, he just walked in, oh, I like the NFL and the football, I'll get that one. And he just got it. Dude just walked in and got it. And now I got to sit here and wait a month. What, for a hat? You know, it was very, very frustrating. So that was just the rollout. Then you get your cabinet and it doesn't have Wi-Fi. It's not good. It's not, well, it has Wi-Fi, but it doesn't have online play. So it's not good. So I guess we got to ask a couple questions. Okay. First off, and this is actually a question that I asked in the poll in the live chat. Jump up there and answer that question. I want to have just as many people. We only have 181 votes. Can I get 200? I have 227 watching this video right now. Jump up there. Can we get to 200 votes? I really want to know where we're at. I really want to know if, listen, this question could be crazy and way off the mark, but this is a way for everybody to participate in this part of the show right now, is to let me know right now. Let's ask this question, answer this question right now. Does Arcade1up's holiday season need redemption? Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I'm just a little too emotional, a little too upset, and everything's fine. So does it even need to be saved? That's a question we have to ask ourselves. Then if the answer to that question is no, well, then everything's fine. But if the answer to that question is yes, it needs saving, it needs redemption, then can a release do it? Can a re-release do it? Can giving us something we've already had before actually do it? Can it fix it? Now, remember, for the longest time, I thought, and I was, up until very recently, I was sure, I was absolutely positive that the re-release, the new Star Wars cabinet that was rumored, that was hinted, that we really just saw the leak on Shop Hippo. And we saw that price point of $100 more. And I thought, okay, no problem, $599. That means Wi-Fi. That means we'll probably get a coin door, molded coin door. That'll be awesome. I get to light that up. That's going to be sick. And then we'll have Wi-Fi. And it's just going to have leaderboards. But hey, they'll throw that in there. It'll be a big way to differentiate the first run from the second run. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely sick. But we haven't seen any FCC filings. You know, it's looking like maybe that's not going to have Wi-Fi. So it's just going to be a straight up one-for-one re-release. I mean, you know, nothing. Maybe just a coin door. I mean, is that gonna be? I mean, I guess that would be something. But to justify the $100, so I don't really know. So let's just say this is 100%, just a straight up re-release. Exactly the same thing we got before. If that's the case, can a re-release really redeem a company from a lackluster, disappointing holiday season? And then if that's the case, if we're talking about a re-release, just re-releasing something, what does a re-release mean? I mean, really? I mean, to you and me and everybody else, and we're all friends here. We're just sitting in the room. Okay, you're gonna bring back something that you had before at an incredible increase. I mean, $100 is a bit of a stretch. $499 was the original price, now $599 for the same exact thing. I mean, the same exact thing, exactly the same. I don't know. That's a tough pill to swallow. But you know what's not a tough pill to swallow? It's a $2 super chat from my good buddy, Snow Dubs. Thank you so much for the super chat. But he said, do you advise buying directly from Arcade1up Fox? Generally speaking, actually, no. Snow Dubs, I don't. Because you don't tend, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the cabinet sooner or early. And until recently, it didn't really mean that you were going to get the best deal, really. Now they have improved 100% on just getting those deals and those savings out there. You can actually catch some stuff on their website for sale that's cheaper than actually some other places. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. So, but anyway, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, brother. I really do appreciate it. Definitely helps pay off that turkey. It was a big deal. It's a big turkey. But unfortunately, you got to go to the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
So we're just sitting here talking, what does a re-release really mean? What does that really say to us? A company just comes out with the same thing that they had before, but more expensive. What does that mean? Well, here's a couple things. I think that this is a good and bad list. This is a pluses and minuses. You really got to figure out for yourself where you shake out on this. Number one, it just means more of the same, right? Okay, it's a re-release. It's the same thing we had, but we're going to do it again, and we're going to charge you more. So it's just more of the same. So you can't read anything else into it. It's just the same thing over and over again. Another way you could look at this is they're actually giving us what we want. We're asking for Star Wars. People are just bummed that they missed out on it the first time, and they're just coming. They're bringing it back, right? They're bringing it back because that's what we want. That's what everybody's asking for. Okay, that would be a good thing, right? Or maybe, just maybe, they're just making the most of a limited license. Maybe Star Wars, license from Disney is a limited thing. Maybe they don't have a bunch of licenses total, the company wide. And that's another thing. Maybe that's another layer we got to think about. Not just Star Wars and the fact that specific license is limited to maybe just two products, the pinball machine and the upright, the one that I have. Maybe that's all maybe that's all they got. And they're like, well, we got to make the most of it, right? So let's do it. But what if it also speaks to a limited licensing, a quantity of licenses in the entire company? Why do we keep getting Capcom and Midway legacies every year? Maybe because they don't have that many. And maybe they're looking down that list and that list is getting shorter and the options are getting shorter and they're just making the most of a very, very limited short list. Interesting. I don't know. I think a lot of these can be, a lot of these are pretty much, they're all plausible, honestly. And it depends on your point of view, really, I think. They come up with the same cabinet, and I don't know that it's exactly the same, but if it is exactly the same for $100 more, listen, all of these are valid. And your temperature on that day is going to tell you exactly where you think this, and you take this how you want. But if you're kind of pissed off because maybe this holiday season didn't go exactly the way you wanted. Maybe you wanted Time Crisis and that just fell apart. Because listen, we were looking at leaks from GameFly and everything else lined up and you were really hoping for Time Crisis. Looks like that's not going to happen. That's a bummer. And now you look at Star Wars coming out. Maybe you've already got it. Maybe you're not into it. You're like, oh, here we go. I can't get Time Crisis, but they're going to come out with Star Wars again, the same cabinet for $100 more. It's crazy. I don't know. So what does it mean from their perspective? Can't speak for them. But for me right now, a re-release, I already have it. So it does zero for me. And for me, who are somebody who already has it, you got to justify that extra $100. That's just my opinion. You have to really say, okay, listen, it's $100 more because of this. That's just me. But anyway, everybody, depending on where you land on this, it's going to be what it's going to be. I think that their holiday season does need a little bit of redemption, but I'm not exactly sure that, re-releasing a cabinet that we've already seen, that we've already had, exactly the same cabinet for $100 more is going to get it. I think it may just make your holiday season a little bit worse. How would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Yes, it is time, unfortunately, to wrap up the show for tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. But before we go, we got to take a look at the poll real quick. So here's the question. Pretty simple question. We got thank you so much, everybody. 203 votes. You absolutely rock. So the question was this: is there an upcoming product that can save Arcade1up's holiday season? You had 4 selections. Yes, Star Wars. Yes, Time Crisis. No, it doesn't need saving. Or no, it can't be saved. It's all over. We're going to go ahead and end the poll right now. And Well, it's actually a fairly even split, to be perfectly honest with you. Coming in dead last is actually Time Crisis, which is weird. I thought that would be higher on the list. That's at 17%, but the number one is actually going to be Yes, It Needs to Be Saved, and Star Wars can do it at 32%. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Absolutely. So let me, I did have one question. I wanted to scroll up. I think it was from Tammy. She asked me something specifically, and I didn't mean to skim over, but I want to answer this question. Fox, are we getting Arcade1up slot machines anytime soon? I think next year. I think probably honestly, and I hate to burst some people's bubble about Time Crisis, but I think Time Crisis and the Casino Cades, the Party Cades, that's going to be a CES 2023 thing. I mean, I'm just, listen, that's a lot to kind of cram in this month. And I think that I think there's going to be an online component with the slot machines. I don't know if you're not going to have any kind of monetary exchange, if you can't put real money in it. Where's the thrill? I doubt it's just going to be a sort of, I mean, I guess you could play it offline, but I don't think there's going to be much of an appeal for offline slot machines. I think online is the way to go. And the fact that we haven't seen anything on the FCC filings probably hints at CES 2023, early next year. I think first quarter 2023 is kind of where we're at on that. So anyway, I want to thank everybody so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. If you want to, if you're interested, I know it's something a little bit different, but in 30 minutes, about 10 o'clock, I'm going to be talking about, me and Justin, Console Kits, are going to be talking about Andor, the finale. We're going to talk about the whole season 1, and our thoughts about season 2. If that interests you at all, definitely hang out with us. And if you want to do that, just stay right here. You're going to be redirected there. But anyway, anyway, so much is going on. It's just, I feel kind of winded because it's been a hell of a week. Next week, starting Monday, tomorrow, I'm flying out to Hawaii. I'm going to be gone for a week. It's for work. So I should be back. I am going to be, well, let's knock on wood, right? I'm going to be back Sunday, as long as the flights are on time. I am going to have a show Sunday. Content's probably going to be limited this week because I'm going to be off in another time zone, another part of the world. So I'm probably going to be limited on videos. So anyway, everybody, I hope you have a great day. I hope you had a great week. I hope you had a great day. I hope your week is going to be good. It's kind of rough going back to work, but listen, I'll see you right back here next Sunday, right? So anyway, thank you so much for stopping by, checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day, blessed week, and I will see all of you next time.